Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I don't really have like a theme or an idea for it. I know I want it to be like a reading vlog, so I think it's just gonna be a mood reading vlog just because I have a fully stocked November TBR. So I don't really know what I'm in the mood for. We'll have a look together and we can pick the book out. I feel like a romance, to be honest, which I don't normally feel like, but for some reason I think I'm feeling the more like lighthearted rom-com style of books, just because it really is starting to feel like summer here in New Zealand. And yeah, I just think I feel like a nice lighthearted fun little rom-com, but preferably if it has depth in it. So I think we'll go pick out our book and then we will make our coffee, do some reading, and yeah, that's basically it. Okay, let me bring you over to my TBR cart and we can choose our book. So this is my TBR. Sorry, the lighting's always so funny when I sit here and it's like, can you guys see? I hope so. But basically, from Magnolia Parks up until this book, this is my November TBR. I think I'm tossing up between these three books. So we could do 7 Days in June by Tia Williams, although I do think I'm gonna save this for when I go on holiday in like a week, just because I do see myself laying by the pool, drinking a cocktail and reading this book. Like that's kind of what I vision when I think of my holiday, and for some reason I think of this book. So I think I'm gonna save that. The one that I'm like leaning towards the most is Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. I'm so excited to start this series. I just made a new friend at work, like she just started and she's a book girly and we're like this now, but she loves this Part of Your World like series by Abby Jimenez. I think it's Part of Your World, Yours Truly, and then Just for the Summer. And I did say to her that I'm like a tiny bit apprehensive just because I'm not a huge Emily Henry fan, and I know Emily Henry is like the queen of rom-coms, but I think Abby Jimenez is also the queen of rom-coms. So I'm just scared that because I don't like Emily Henry that I may not like Abby. But she said that she's also not a huge Emily Henry fan, but she loves Abby, so I'm hoping that same sort of thing applies to me. So I'm really excited. We also have one more option. We could also do Assistant to the Villain by Hannah Nicole Mayer. And this one's more like fantasy though. Like I think it's got like mythical creatures and things like that. So I don't know if that's what I want. I do think I will save this for holiday, and I think this one's a bit too fantasy for my mood right now. So I think we will start this video off by reading Part of Your World. So I'm just gonna make a coffee first and then we can dig into this book, and I really hope I like it. Okay, so we've chosen our book and now it is time to make a coffee. I think I'm gonna go with this mug just because I'm in a very girly mood today. Like my top is super girly. This is just a pajama top, by the way. This is super girly and I'm gonna read a romance, and yeah, we may as well embrace the girly vibes today. So that's exactly what we're gonna do. Oh my god, by the way guys, I have stocked up on my Nespresso pods and I could not be more excited. They just released their like limited edition holiday flavors. So this one is roasted sesame and peanut. By the way, I'm very sorry if you can hear the washing machine. This one is roasted sesame and peanut flavor. It doesn't actually really taste like that. It's more like notes of that. So I think if you're drinking it more so black, like with no milk and no flavors really added in, you can definitely taste it. And to be quite honest, even with the milk you could taste it, so I really liked it. And this one is almond croissant flavored. Again, not really flavored, but just more notes of like almond in there. It's so nice. And then this one is just one of their like original ones. It's called Roma, and I think it's like malted cereal undernotes. I really love this one. Fun fact, I actually used to work at Nespresso, and I think that's where I developed my coffee addiction. I think all of us that work there were addicted to coffee. We would have like 4 or 5 a day, I swear, because one of us would always be going to the kitchen, and like once you go to the kitchen you just ask if anyone wants a coffee and the answer is always yes. It was such a fun job. I loved that job. But yeah, I'm very happy because I've got a stocked up pod selection. So I think I think I'm gonna do the roasted sesame and peanut one just because I really like this one. Now, I don't actually use sugar for my coffee, I just use honey, and don't knock it till you try it. I know it sounds a little bit strange. I think more people use honey in like their tea than their coffee, but I promise it just adds such a nice flavor to the coffee.
I fell apart 1,000 times. I'm tired of thinking it's raining, but something in your eyes is shining on me. You say it's time to...
Okay everyone, coffee is made. Let's do a taste test. Oh, you can really smell the sesame and the peanut. It smells so nice. Oh yeah. So delicious. Okay, so part of your world, what is this about? Interesting, we've got an age gap, but it's actually the woman that's like almost 10 years older than the guy. I think she meets him in this small town and then they obviously have a bit of a romance. Now the reason I don't really like romance books is just because I find them not boring, but because the only plot really going on is the romance, it does kind of bore me, to be honest, just because like that's the only thing really happening. Like obviously there's like her work and her friends and things like that, but I don't know, I'm just not a huge contemporary romance person. One of my YouTube friends, Cass, actually got me this book, which was so kind of her. She actually got me 3 books and I've loved 2 out of the 3. She got me The Crimson Moth and Beartown, and 2 out of the 3 have been Chef's Kiss. So I really hope I love this one as much. I'm just a little bit nervous just because it's a romance, but you know, I think I will like it. I've heard such good things about this author and yeah, I'm excited. I really am. Okay, so without further ado, let's do some reading. Hi everyone, so I just had a long nap on the couch, so I definitely think my makeup's come off, but that's okay. Hello, so reading update. I am now on chapter 9, which is page 70 of Part of Your World, and guys, I'm really enjoying it. It's really just fun, it's easy to read, I like both of our main characters, and I understand the Part of Your World title as well as the book cover. It's like I always got it, but now I like fully grasp the concept, if that makes sense. It's not that I didn't get it before, it's that I just didn't even think about what the book title would really mean, because they come from very different worlds. Like she comes from a super wealthy family, surgeon background, mansions, everyone she sort of hangs out with like comes from money in that kind of sense, whereas he's from a very small town farm boy, like small town farm boy. He wears like flannels and he has a beard, and he definitely gives me Luke vibes from Gilmore Girls. So if you've seen Gilmore Girls, that's sort of how I'm imagining our main guy character. They're just properly kind of starting to see each other now, but she's just kind of fearsome because he's like 10 years younger than her, and she's like, I'm 38, he's 28, like it's kind of crazy, and she normally dates like older men, so she's a bit like, what the hell, like this guy's so young. But he's an absolute sweetheart, and he also owns a baby goat. Now that part's really fun. It's definitely not a book that I'm like, I can't wait to pick my book back up. Do you know what I mean? I'm not like, oh, I can't wait to see what's gonna happen. I just often don't really get that from romances, like from like contemporary romances. I definitely got that from like Magnolia Parks, But that one doesn't really read like a contemporary romance. Magnolia Parks is like its own genre, I swear. Yes, to sum it up, I'm definitely enjoying this book. It's really easy to read. It's also funny. Like, Abby Jimenez definitely has a way of writing funny dialogue. She's super charming, she is funny, she's witty, and yeah, it's a good time. It's like a super pleasant, enjoyable read. So I'm very happy with that. I will do some more reading of this tonight. I'm on page 70, so I'd like to reach maybe like page 150 tonight, just because it's so easy to read. I could definitely fly through this book. But yeah, anyways, I'll do some more reading of this tonight and I will update you guys tomorrow. So reading update, I am now on chapter 21 on page 171. So I think I'm halfway through, or I'm like just almost halfway through. And so far so good. It's very easy to read, which is really nice. And it's also like filled with dialogue. And you know, whenever books have a lot of dialogue in them, they're just easier to read, you know? I really love the main guy, Daniel. Like, he's just one of those really nice, like, handyman. He's obviously a big guy, kind of like a lumberjack, maybe like a refined lumberjack. And I just really like him. He's very handy, and he's also just so nice to Alexis, and he's also just like very much into her. I think just because they come from such different worlds, I think they're just sort of trying to find a way to kind of like mesh their lives together and how they can kind of live in each other's worlds, just because they come from such different worlds, you know, money, age, like big city, small town, you know, it's just very different. This is one of those couples where I do imagine that once I finish the book, after like 6 months to a year, that the couple will break up. And I feel like a hater saying that, don't get me wrong, I think they're so cute and they definitely have amazing chemistry and they obviously get on and stuff like that. But I think there are some couples that can't survive the compromise and making a lot of things work to be together, because they're one of those couples that would need a lot of compromise to make it work on both parties. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's either she moves to the small town kind of farm or he moves to the city. And I just don't think, you know, I just don't think it's for either of them. So I don't know. I love them together right now and I wish them nothing but the best. But if this was a real life situation, it definitely, I think, wouldn't work out. But that's just my opinion. I swear I'm not being a hater. I'm just being realistic, okay? I like the scene I was just reading. Like, Alexis goes to call Daniel and she's having like a bit of a mental breakdown because her coffee machine is not working. And honestly, valid. Like, I've actually had one of those before. I would say a couple of times, like pre-work, not this year, maybe like 2 years ago. Like, you wake up and you've got such a busy day at work ahead and I don't know, just so many things seem to be going wrong. And then like the coffee machine's not working or you're out of coffee and you're just like, oh. And I don't know why at the time it was such a big deal, because I could have just gone and bought a coffee. But for some reason, like, I remember it really affecting me and I was like, why? Honestly, if you've been there, you know. It's one of those things, I think it's like when you're having a bad day, or you know you're gonna have a bad day ahead of you or whatever it is, like super busy, and then you're looking forward to just like that little small joy, like a coffee, and then you can't even have that. You're just like, why, God? Super melodramatic, but I'm sure we've all had that. We've all had like a little mental breakdown over something so small going wrong, and in hindsight you're like, that's so stupid and so dramatic, but in the moment, you know, in the moment you really feel those feels. But yeah, basically she's having a little mental breakdown because her power's out and she doesn't have a kettle. The only thing she has is a Keurig. She's like, I have to go to work and the coffee machine's not working. And he's like sort of trying to hide his laughter because he's obviously in his head like, this is not a big deal. But you know, I'm with Alexis. I do think it's a big deal. And even though she's like the surgeon, she makes a lot of money and she's amazing in all these ways, she's not a very domesticated person, whereas he's super domesticated. Like, she doesn't know how to cook, she doesn't know how to do laundry, etc. And he's sort of laughing at her, being like, how is this woman so incredible and so remarkable in so many ways, but she can't even like put a load of washing on. They're funny and they're very cute in that sort of way, but I just don't see them going all the way. That's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. I'm still really enjoying this book. It's a good time. I definitely like the writing more than Emily Henry. Sorry to all my Emily Henry fans. I don't know. I just don't gel with her writing. Sometimes that happens. But I definitely like Abby Jimenez's writing. It's funny, it's easy to read, it's enjoyable. So I'm definitely having a good time. It's probably feeling like a 3.75 star. And that's just because I don't like really look forward to picking up my book. Like, I am excited to pick it up, but I don't get that feeling of like, oh, I can't wait to go home and read my book. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, still enjoying it though, and I will do some more reading and update you guys once I'm a little bit further in. Hello everyone. So reading update. Also, sorry if the lighting's kind of strange. Don't know what to do about it, but I am now on page 286 of Part of Your World, and I'm really enjoying it. And I'm also very sad because I've actually really connected to these characters now, and I really don't know how they're gonna work this out. I feel like they have a lot of obstacles to overcome and a lot of challenges, and yeah, it's very sad. Like, not only because they live so far away, they live very separate lives, and you know, they're gonna have to compromise to really be together, but then the other sort of issue they're having is that our main woman, she wants children and she wants a family, and she's 37, almost 38, so obviously her, you know, her clock is ticking. And because he's 28, she's like, well, he could just, you know, marry a 25-year-old girl and take all the time he needs in the world and then have a family, whereas it'd be quite difficult with them because she would need to get married quickly and have children quickly. And yeah, so they're just facing a lot of like struggles and like hardships within their relationship of like trying to make it work. Like, there's just a lot of hoops they sort of have to jump through. But yeah, I really do like the characters, and I really love Daniel. Daniel, I love that man. Like I said, he just reminds me of Luke from Gilmore Girls. You know, just like one of those nice, steady handymen. They're just very kind. They know how to fix things around the house. Do you know what I mean? I'm really enjoying it, and I'm definitely invested in their relationship, and I'm just quite curious to see how they're going to make it work. I definitely enjoy Abby Jimenez's writing so much more than Emily Henry's. Like, I know so many people love Emily Henry and like there's a reason she's so popular. I totally understand that. I just didn't personally click with her writing, but I definitely do with Abby. And I've also heard that this series, I think they're like interconnected standalones. The next one's called Yours Truly, and then it's just for the summer. I've heard that actually the first one's like not the best one, and then the second and the third one are way better and like a bit more emotional, which I do like. Like, I do like my, like, if I am gonna read a romance, I prefer when they face like not real problems, but it's just like more believable. You know, sometimes rom-coms can just be so like not real life, and I understand people like to read that because it's like escapism and, you know, it's a comforting thing, you know, it's gonna have a happy ending, etc. I prefer my romances just to be a bit more realistic and just a bit more like real life scenarios. But yeah, anyways, enough yapping. I am gonna do some reading and hopefully finish up this book today. I ended up finishing a Part of Your World, and you know what, guys, I really enjoyed it. Like, if we're talking contemporary romance author, Abby is the girl. She really is, and I do understand it now. And this is coming from someone who's not into this genre. I feel like that speaks volumes on just how good she is at what she does, because for someone like me who normally DNFs contemporary romances, to be quite honest, or I get bored during reading them, I wasn't bored reading this. Like I really had a good time, and I think I'm gonna give this a 4-star. Like for sure, definitely 4-star. At first I was thinking 3.75, but the more I think about it, it definitely feels like a 4-star for me. And yeah, I'm very happy. I'm really happy I enjoyed it, and I cannot wait to continue the series. I can't wait to read yours truly, and I think just for the summer. Yeah, I'm like really looking forward to reading those 2 books. I don't want to talk about my overall thoughts and opinions and all that like too much, just because I will definitely dissect this book and talk about that when I do my November wrap up. It was so good. I love the way it ended, and I'm really happy it ended the way that it did. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. I love Daniel, the main guy. Alexis, the main girl, like she's definitely not a favorite character of mine or anything like that, but I really do enjoy their dynamic, and yeah, I love the main guy. And yeah, it was just a really good book. It was very enjoyable. And again, this is coming from someone who doesn't really like this genre too much. So I imagine if you love a contemporary romance, like this would be right up your alley. Like she is so good. So yeah, I'm very happy with this. We will pick out the next book we're gonna read. I don't know what I feel like. I don't know. Let me get my TBR cards and then we can choose a book together. I don't want to read this yet because I think I'm gonna read this in like a continuing / finishing series I'm in the middle of, but I really want to read this. Like I cannot wait to read Magnolia Parks Into the Dark. Like I'm so excited, but I'm gonna save this for another video, so look out for that. Truthfully, I would love to start City of Bones, like start the Mortal Instruments series, but I just don't want to start another series until I finished at least 2 more. So once I finish Magnolia Parks, then I would have finished another series. So I'm hoping to finish some series soon, and then once I do that, I will allow myself to start another one, but just not yet. Okay, I'm thinking either Assistant to the Villain, but I don't know if I feel like this. We could definitely do The Last Tale of the Flower Bride. I honestly have no idea what this is about. I think it's meant to give sort of like more dark, almost fairy tale vibes. And let's see. It says, once a man who believed in fairy tales married a beautiful, mysterious woman named Indigo. And in exchange for her love, Indigo extracted a promise that her bridegroom would never pry into her past. But when the couple return to Indigo's childhood home, they find the shadow of another girl lurking in the manor's extravagant rooms, and that's Indigo's beloved friend, who disappeared without a trace. It says, faced with his wife's dark secrets, the bridegroom is unable to resist breaking his promise, even if it threatens to destroy their marriage. This is a dark fairy tale infused story about a cursed friendship and a marriage steeped in secrets. It also has such good praise, like such good praise. Like in the beginning of this book, it is just piled with praise about just how incredible and just beautiful the writing is, and I'm just so excited. I really don't know what genre this is. Like I can't tell if it's just general fiction or if it has like some fantasy magic in it. I honestly have no idea. So I'm gonna go into this book pretty blind, which I think will make it a lot more fun. So we'll find out. It's quite a short book. I think it's only like 290 pages. Yeah, okay, cool. I think we'll do The Last Tale of the Flower Bride by Roshani Chokshi. I really like this book cover as well. Okay, cool. We've chosen our book. No, it's way too late for a coffee. I really wanted to make a coffee, but it's like 5:30 p.m. I shouldn't do it. Oh, I'd love one though. I wish I had like decaf pods. If I had decaf pods, I could make one. I might. No, I don't think I do. Anyway, let's read. Guys, it may be way too soon to speak, way too soon. I'm only 10 pages in, But the writing, love it. And just like the storytelling so far, like I don't know, I'm only 10 pages in, so I really don't want to jinx myself and speak too soon, but it just feels so lush. That's kind of like the feeling that this book is giving me. Do you know what I mean? Like it's like lush and dark and very like tantalizing. Like I really have no idea what this genre is gonna be, if that makes sense. Like it's so, I don't know, I really don't want to say too much, and like I can't even give you spoilers, I'm only 10 pages in, but I definitely think that this story is gonna be super interesting and exciting. So the book starts off with him being in like this really nice hotel in Paris, and he's waiting for Indigo to come visit him, but he's never met Indigo before. And he's also just talking about this painting, this 14th century painting. It's the Melusine painting from the 14th century, and it's about this mermaid, or a siren I believe, and one day a nobleman came across her in a forest and begged her to be his wife, and she agreed on the condition that he never spies on her while she bathes. And then the nobleman agreed, and for a time they were happy, but eventually curiosity got the best of him and it overwhelmed him, and one day he spied on her as she was bathing and saw her true nature and lost her forever. I'm sure you've heard of this story before. Like I don't know where I've heard it before, but I've heard it, I feel like, so many times, and it's like about this enchanting, dazzling mermaid siren, and yeah, she's bathing and this man wants to marry her, but then she's like, you just can't spy on me while I bathe. So I'm just so intrigued by this book, and the main guy here, he talks about how he's always been very intrigued by these kinds of women before, these like mermaid slash siren sorts of women. So reading update, I'm now on page 60 of The Last Tale of the Flower Bride, and I really love the writing. Like the writing style reminds me of Mona Awad's. If you've read Bunny or Rouge, I think there's another book she has, I think it's All's Well, All Too Well, something like that. It's not as weird as Mona Awad, but it's strange in the way where I have no idea where the story is going, and I have no idea what the story is trying to tell me, if that makes sense. So it's keeping me hooked in that way because it's just so not predictable. And I feel like recently I've read books where I can kind of guess the plot, or I can predict what's gonna happen. Maybe the author foreshadows too well and it's like too predictable. This book is very strange, but like in a really fun way. And I don't want to tell you too much because I do think this is one of those books you should go into kind of blind. Like maybe just read the back of it, but don't Google too much about it or kind of look into it, because it's strange but also very fun. And like, there's a few things I want to say, but I don't think I'm gonna say it because I don't want to give anything away in case it kind of ruins the reading experience. I will definitely say that it's not a book for everyone, and I think it kind of caters to just some specific readers. Luckily for me, I like books like this, and I like books that are like a tiny bit more strange, or I don't know, sort of like otherworldly, if that makes sense. And like it's not, there's no magic in this, but I can't say too much, I'm so sorry. This is such a bad review, but just know that I'm really enjoying it. And yeah, I just made myself a hot chocolate because it's so cold today. Like even though it's almost summer, it does not feel like it today. I'm gonna drink my hot chocolate, do some reading, and I want to read hopefully like 100 pages today, just so I can get a little bit further into the story and just know a bit more about how I feel towards it, because so far so good, but it's definitely too early to say anything. All I know is that I love the writing, and that's really important for me. So yeah, gonna drink my hot cocoa, do some reading, and that's that. morning everyone, how are we doing? If you can't tell by the sound of my voice, I woke up sick, which was really annoying because I was actually sick 2 weeks ago, and then I think my colleague got me sick and I'm just about to go on holiday and I'm sick again, so yay. That's really fun. Update on The Last Tale of the Flower Bride. I am now on page 119. I plan on finishing this book today, so there's only like 290 pages, so I've really only got like 170 pages, but this book definitely flies by. Like, it's so easy to read. Oh, my voice, I'm so sorry. I'm very much enjoying it. It's strange though, like I don't want to, it's not that it's strange. No, it is. It's hard to explain, but this is just a book that I think you would either really enjoy, or you would just find a bit too like odd. If you've read Mona Awad and you love her writing, you would definitely love this book. That's all I have to say. It's very like, it's not magical. I really can't explain it without giving away the whole sort of idea behind this book. I'm being so ambiguous, I'm so sorry. I just really don't want to spoil you guys, and I just think it's more fun to kind of go into this book blind. It's so interesting and it's so fascinating, and the writing is so mesmerizing and like intoxicating, and yeah, it's so good. It's just a little bit strange, and I'm so curious to see where the story is gonna go. The story is now flipping between the perspective of the husband, and then it's also going back in time, and we're getting the perspective of Indigo, who's the main girl, of her childhood best friend. And this friendship ran its course, I think, when they were like 14, 15, 16, that kind of age. The sort of theme going on in this book is sort of like the toxic friendships that can happen to girls at that age. I feel like if you were at the age of 14, 15, 16, you probably had a toxic friendship with someone, especially between girls. Like, I think those toxic sort of friendships can happen at that age, sort of like possessive, and you kind of like want that best friend all to yourself and you don't want to share them, like that kind of toxic friendship vibes, if that makes sense. So yeah, I really can't say too much, but just know that I'm definitely really enjoying the story. I'm enjoying the writing. I'm just so curious on what's gonna happen. I've got no idea. But anyways, I'm gonna make myself a cup of coffee, something nice and warm, and then I will read my book and hopefully get a good chunk into it. Guys, I'm deeply obsessed with Vance Joy and his music. I was obsessed with his music, I think in like 2018, like that time, but for some reason like his songs have been like coming on shuffle, and it has just been taking me back. My favorite song, lyrically and just the way it sounds, is I'm With You. It's from the Nation of Two album. Perfection. So beautiful. Honey latte, of course.
My darling, I'm ready to burst into flame. Well, I've been on fire, dreaming of you.
To know that
you love me, 'cause you do it so. I'll swing for the fences, I run to the line, and it's high.
Hey everyone, I don't know if you can hear the sound of the rain, but it is pouring outside and it's very cozy, like such nice cozy reading weather. I've got my coffee and life is good, even though I'm sick and I really don't want to be because I have like an 8-hour flight tomorrow. Life is good. I'm also drinking like hot water, not hot, but like warm water for my throat, so it's good. It's good. I've got all my medicine, and I just know that I'm gonna wake up tomorrow feeling so much better. Okay, and without further ado, I just love him. I love him so much. Guys, I am so mad at myself for not underlining or tabbing this book. I swear within like 5 pages of reading this book, I knew that I wanted to do that and then I just didn't. And I'm so angry because the amount of beautiful lines and quotes that I've read in this book that I've had to like do a double take. Like I would read them twice just to be like, wow. Wow. Even though it's a short book, like it's only 300 pages, the writing, phenomenal. It's definitely very like descriptive and kind of like lyrical, and I'm not going to say the word flowery, but it definitely is quite descriptive writing. However, I think it's done in a way that like really adds to the story, and it just makes the story so rich in details. Like the imagery in this book, 10 out of 10. I also think because I'm sick, I don't know if anyone else is like this, but when I'm sick, I feel like that's when I'm the most creative and I can imagine more. Like if I was to sit here and daydream right now, my daydreams would be like so vivid and kind of wacky and just like very creative, and my imagination would be going off. I don't know why. I don't know why. So because I'm quite sick and I'm really absorbed in the story, I can perfectly vision a lot of the things going on. So it's making the reading experience very enjoyable for me. Just because with fantasy, like I would say the majority of the time I can vision things and imagine things, but there's times where I feel like my creativity is way better. Does anyone else get like that? Like, I don't know. Sometimes reading is just so much more fun than usual because I'm like imagining a movie. Like I always imagine things when I read. I'm definitely one of those people that can like picture things when reading. I think most people can, but I've also heard that some people can't, which is so crazy to me. This book is so creative. It's so fascinating, but it's also quite strange. This is definitely a very polarizing book. I think you will either really love it and think it's incredible, or you will be like, I don't know. I love it. Thankfully, I don't love it. Like it's not a 5-star, but it's definitely like a 4 or a 4.25 so far, and we'll see how it ends. I'll just sit and do some more reading and I'll keep you guys posted. This book is actually crazy. Like it's actually mental. A plot twist just happened, and oh my god, I did not see that coming. I really did not see that coming. Hi besties, so I'm currently in Australia on holiday, and I realized that I never gave an update on my final thoughts on The Last Tale of the Flower Bride, so I'll do that now. Overall rating, I think it's going to be a 3.75. It was going to be a 4, but just some things happened towards the end that like, I don't know, they were just a bit strange in ways that I don't like in books. Like there's definitely topics on like grooming, which I just really, just disgusting, icks me out. So I think because of that, it just made me like, oof. But besides that, the writing was so good and it was just so immersive, and like, I really liked the idea of the story. It's definitely a book that's filled with symbols and like motifs, and everything kind of means something, if that makes sense. So there's a lot of imagery in the book, which I really do enjoy, and it definitely kind of makes you think, what is the author trying to tell with this? So I do really enjoy that aspect of the book, but I don't know, it kind of got like a little bit wishy-washy towards the end for me, and that made it kind of drop down. But overall, it was a good book, but it's also just a bit strange, and it's a book that I'm kind of like apprehensive to recommend, just because I don't think a lot of people would like it, but I also think that a lot of people would love it. I definitely think it's a very polarizing book. So do with that what you will. Google it, see if it's your kind of thing. I definitely think if you like Mona Awad's books, you'd like this book. It was good, and I definitely really enjoyed it. I think I liked the first half more, and there was a plot twist that happened that was crazy. So I really enjoyed the plot twist, but there was just some parts of the book that I don't know, didn't love. So yeah, it's gonna be a 3.75. Thank you so much for watching this mood reading vlog. I hope you enjoyed it. I really hope you did, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.